Hi everyone, Ali here from Ali's Therapy Academy. Just having a quick chat with you today. Just want to share with you some pointers about what I find with therapists and the mistakes that they make with running their business, with setting up and running their business. This broadcast has come about because of a discussion that was made in the ATA Hub today, and I just thought it would be really good to follow this up on here and just to explain a few things and a few pointers, things that I find. So let me just go through. It's going to be, we're going to be brief. It's not going to be a long podcast or a long broadcast today. So it's something that you'll be able to catch up with later on. So one of the first things I find with many therapists, when I'm having one-to-one with them and we're having a chat, they're either just setting up ready to be launched, or they've already launched and they're coming to me because they haven't got any clients. So what I'm finding when I'm chatting to them is that a lot of them haven't done the groundwork. Great training at college or at schools, anywhere like that with the therapies, they come away really gifted with what they can do, whether it's massage, reflexology, hypnotherapy, whatever. They're really gifted with their therapy, but then it actually comes down then to setting up and running the business, and this is where they can falter. It's the groundwork, it's the core and the foundations are not built and put in place. When I'm working, again, when I'm asking therapists questions and I'm saying to them, who's your ideal client? Who's the person that you want to work with? Well, I get the obvious answer, and I used to say exactly the same thing, that I want to work with everyone, and I can work with everyone. This is exactly, what we were taught for was to help people. And this is perfect in our industry. I've been a therapist for 16 years, and I should think for about the first 6 years with that, I was marketing to anyone and everyone because I wanted to help anyone. And it's this thing that you have to realize that you cannot be there for everyone. You cannot work with everyone, that it's better if you can specialize. But what this groundwork is find out who's your ideal client. Don't be like every other therapist that's out there. You've probably all seen them. Hopefully you've done the research in your area, in your village or in your town. You've researched the area. You know what other therapists are there. You know what therapy centres are there. You know what clinics about. Hopefully you've investigated and researched. So have a look and find out whether there's anything missing, or whether, what you can be different, how you can stand out from everyone else. So what's your USP? Also, the other things that you're looking for is to be building that database. And again, that's another question I get from therapists, that when I'm saying to them, have you got your, if you've got your therapy list in place, if you've got your database, are you in contact with your, the names? Have you got in contact with your clients? And I get a blank look. Even if you haven't got any clients, you still put that system in place. You still have that system ready so that when you can put names in there, even if you're just putting your friends and family in there to start, you can start working and building that relationship by sending newsletters, by sending helpful hints and tips. So it's showing them your knowledge and your expertise. It's putting that word out there. And having these systems in place so that when you are busy with your clients, you're not trying to set up newsletters, you're not trying to set up your database. It's already there in place. So it's putting that groundwork in and that foundation before you even actually launch. Okay, so this is, one of those important ones. Also, because of what we do, we love to work with people. So secondly, it's, you get what you work for. It's our industry. We love to work hands-on. We love to work with our clients. We love what we do with the passion. But it's not always working in the business and working with the clients. It's you know, we've all got families. We've all got to keep a roof over our head. We've all got families. We may have children. We may have grown-up children. We've got a life, and we try to have that work and life balance. But the thing is, if you don't put the work in, you haven't got a business. So it's that, yes, it's self-employed. I'm my own boss. I can sit back. This is nice and comfortable. But you've got to put the work in, and especially when just launching, it's hard graft. It is hard work. It is not as easy as we are led to believe. I don't want to paint a picture of doom and gloom, but I just really want you to be aware that it's not as easy as we think. It does take hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and the easy bit is working with our clients. The hard bit is the working on the business. It's doing the social media. It's doing the bookkeeping. It's doing the accounts. It's you know, end of tax year. It's the marketing. It's the newsletters. It's the promotions, the offers. It's all these things you've got working in behind the scenes is that you're working on. Now, some of these things you can outsource. You can pay, you know, get a bookkeeper or hi Lorna. Thank you for being on. Yeah, lovely to see you. It's what you've got to do and you've got to think of is that you've got the bookkeeping, there's the accounts, end of year accounts. Outsource it. Get it to somebody else to do. Because just think, you're doing therapies, you've got your massage, your reflexology, your hot stone, whatever it is you're doing, you're spending time working that and earning money. If you spend 2 or 3 days, now obviously if you're used to doing self-assessments, doing all that, fine, go ahead. But if you're like me that don't like playing with numbers and I never trust myself, I give that straight away to a bookkeeper. I used to spend 2 or 3 days towards the end of my tax year pulling my accounts together for my accounting to have for 24 hours because I've numbered the receipts, I've put everything in columns in the red book, I've done it all properly. My accountant's had them for 24 hours, has done all my accounts, and then has charged me over £200 for it. So what, you know, that I do now is I work with a bookkeeper and that, and she sorts it for me every month. End of the year, it's all done, and I'm working when you know, I'm working with my clients doing the job I love instead of, you know, chewing the end of a pencil trying to sort all my figures out. So I just give it to them. You would like it. How would you feel if you found an accountant, went and done a weekend course and was now offering massage to friends and family instead of, you know, can you see that if you switch it back round, that we're all saying that we're learning, we're doing our bookkeeping, we can do our own books because it saves us money. We wouldn't like it if they were doing our job. So, you know, they've got a passion and a love for doing figures. You know, I've got a passion for doing massage. So you've got to think about that it's all that the hard work is there, but it's got to think, you know, for outsourcing. Also, we're looking at thirdly, is that it's hobby versus work. Again, it's another one that I'm talking to therapists about, and I'm saying to them, you know, you got to, you know, you're running a business, and they go, oh no, I'm just seeing my friends and family, I'm just doing it here and there. If you take that payment for that treatment, you are running a business. The minute you start taking money, you are running a business, and then you have to think then, what are you doing? A hobby or is it work? I know people that work, I know therapists that work full-time, have got a full-time job, and then they still run a therapy business and take it very seriously and run that hard as well. So you can't just sort of dip in and dip out, you know, with rugby. So you've learned and you've worked hard to train to be a qualified therapist. And it's those that dibble in and dibble out that gives us, the rest of us, and the industry a bad reputation. That, you know, I get shocked looks when I'm networking and I'm saying where I am, and I get a glazed look. They look over my head because they don't take me seriously. And then when they find that I'm involved with the Federation of Small Business and I'm involved as an ambassador for the Federation of Holistic Therapists, etc., etc., I meet MPs, I meet local councillors, I do all that. It's because I take myself seriously and I take my business very seriously. Now, obviously, again, you do not have to delve into as deep as that as I do. But it is still working. It's not dibbling and dabbling. It's a lovely therapy. It's a lovely job to do, but it's still a business. So it's having that distinction of hobby or work. Another one I love to hear, excuse me, I'm just looking at my notes. Another one that I love to listen. Thank you, Gemma. I love to hear from you. Thank you for commenting there. Oh, I'm loving this FB Live. Oh, I'm making myself blush now. Another one that I'm often seeing and I'm hearing is that they set up, they launch therapists, they build beautiful business cards, leaflets. They set up, they've, either in a treatment room or they've converted a room in their own home, and they're all beautifully set up and they're ready, and that's it. There's nothing. They expect to be able to open, and that they exist. They think clients will find them. They think the public will find them and come to them. Sorry, that doesn't happen. If it does to you, please tell me your tips. I'd love to know that. But again, this is where we go back to the hard work. You've got to let people know that you exist. You can't just be there now. You've got to be visible. You've got to let people know that you're there and that you exist. So, it's all about keeping in touch, because you can't expect people just to turn up and book with you, especially if they see your social media posts or they may see your website. They've got to feel and build a trust with you and build a relationship with you. So this is where you're sharing your hints and tips on Facebook, that or any type of social media, that you're blogging. Hopefully you've got a blog onto your website, and again that you're sharing bits and pieces in there, again helping people. Also then it's all this evidence that you've got, that you show your expertise. Even if you've just started out, you can do this because you've been training. You've been working so hard with your training. You will know more than the average person in the street. Don't forget that. You've gone through all that training and will know more than them. So share these little bits of hints and tips and advice. Share that you care. And people will start coming and looking and learning from you and building a trust and relationship with you. And when that happens, that's when you that's when they book, because they feel they get to know you. That's when they book up with you. So this is where we have the database. Hi Louise, yes, thank you. Good old Newport Gwent Dragons, bless them. So when people are my local team, I'm home team. So when when I said earlier about having systems in place, this is where you will have your database, so you can put people in there. You will have your newsletters, the template already set up so that you can put information in there. Okay, so this is where I'm saying about, this is where all the hard work is. This is the work you've got to put into it. Underestimating money and time. Now, I discussed this on Tea and Business with the Academy members on Monday morning. And the big one with this is knowing your numbers. You should really track your numbers. And if you do it right from the start, again with a system, then you can carry that through. It will become a habit. You'll end up doing this no problem when then you're busy. It might even be a thing that if eventually you want to outsource and you get a VA or someone like that, you might want to pass that to. But in your own time, in your own diary, in your own business planner, in your marketing planner, you can keep a track of your numbers. So it's your social media numbers, it's your database numbers, it's your client numbers, it's your income, it's your expenses. So all these things that you keep an account of, that you keep a note of every month, so you can keep a track on your goals, your targets, and whether you're actually earning enough money to cover the expenses you're having to pay out. It's no good waiting to the end of the year or just monitoring your bank account to see how much money you've got, because you suddenly might find that you haven't got enough to cover the room rent or something. It might be that you suddenly find that your diary is looking a bit empty towards the end of the month, so then you can put things in place to get more bookings in. So it's knowing your numbers. These things help the business, and it helps towards success, is to know and to track the numbers. Another point is customer service and care. in our industry, it's so much easier because we do care about our clients. We do look after our clients, but also remember they're always right. We don't slapdash, we don't rush, we give them the time because it's quite emotional for them. So again, you have to take this into consideration because it's your time. You've got to remember to book that to put that into your pricing. So where we've been out on about before about how to consider your prices, thinking about how much it's going to cost, what your trainings cost you, what things you need to cover, also remember the time, because you don't want to be like on a conveyor belt with clients and rushing them in and out the door. You've got to give them time, but you've also then got to think of that of your time as well. So always look after your clients, always look after your customers, even if they're just a lead on your database with your newsletters. That's what you've got them for. That's what the newsletter's for, is to show that you care, that you're support, and you're there for them to help them with their life decisions, their life changes, their health and their well-being. Also, when you're just starting out, another point is count what matters. It's all great, we love shiny, bright new things, and I'm a terror for gadgets and new computer platforms, computer software. I'm terrible. For the last couple of years, I'm just terrible for it. But I've been in business 16 years now, so I can play with it a bit more. But when you're starting out, the cost of it can be so much. Think about your branding. Think about how the look you want of your business. So again, whether it's pricing for business cards to be printed with a printer, or whether it's going to, Vistaprint. There might be some things you want done by Vistaprint. There might be some things you want done by, your local printer. It might be the cost of a website. You can't justify or even afford to pay that as soon as you launch your business. Don't put yourself in debt over it. Use a Facebook page. Use social media to attract the interest and to build the trust and the relationship. That's free to use. You can get the reach. You can get the word out there. It will just take some time. It's not a quick slam dunk thing. It does take time. But then when you've got the clients coming through and the money's coming in, then you can go in through the website. So don't try and get everything in place and put yourself in debt or, whatever. Just start with what matters most, what you need most to get you going. Again, I've seen too many therapists, they're having all these shiny things in place and then they've got no clients. That's not, that's not going to help. Another one I see, and again, I'm guilty for this when I first started, was I loved the passion with my therapies and I was adding more and more and more therapies to my list. I've got a lovely toolbox of therapies now that I can offer. But when I was first doing that and I was, getting qualified in that, I didn't know how to sell the therapies. I didn't know how to attract the clients through my door to perform the therapies with. So I had a bright, lovely, shiny new therapy and no clients to work with it. And again, I'm seeing that more and more therapists are getting more and more therapies added to their list, but they don't know how to market. They don't know how to use social media. This is why I built the Academy in place, is to help therapists, give them that business knowledge, give them that confidence and the hand-holding to get them through those stages. Another one I see, is no commitment. And again, I really don't mean to be nasty with this, but whether it's running a therapy business, whether it's running a corner shop, whether it's running a knitting business, whether it's running an IT, remote support, whatever, it's hard work. Any small or micro business is hard work. It takes commitment with anything that you do. So again, if it's social media, it means commitment to the page. It means consistency, talking to people, building to groups, sharing your expertise, answering the questions, just being there consistently, not just dabbling in one post a week. And I've seen other people saying 3 posts a week, 3 posts a day. I'd never be off my computer if I was doing that, even if I was scheduling. So I try and do 1 post a day, and then be there live to actually be and talk to people if need be, if people are asking me questions. So it's consistency. It's be there on your Facebook. It's be there on your website. So forever, you know, putting blogs, putting everything up to date. Oh, thank you, Gemma. I'm just seeing your post come up there. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I'm going to go ready for more now. So it's consistency with the social media, consistency with the blogs, consistency with any of the marketing. I had a client come and check me out once. They found me my webpage on Google. They did a Google search. They found my webpage. They then went and checked on Twitter to see if I was still active. And I hadn't thought of that. I just sort of dip into Twitter now and again. But he didn't check me out on Facebook. He actually checked me out on Twitter to see if I was actually still in business. So be aware of what's going on, because it is commitment in many marketing pillars. It's not just social media, and it's not just a website. There's many marketing pillars that you have to do for your ideal client, for your, you know, your ideal client, your ideal customer, whatever you want to do. You've got to be, you know, it's got to be perfect and in point there. So you've got too many marketing pillars. A point that I wanted to make on why this Facebook Live came out, I was trying to be brief, but I've gone on a bit. But this is to specialise. You cannot be a therapist to everyone. And like I said earlier, I'm out in that industry and I can work with anyone. I work with women, men, the elderly, children, whatever. I will work with anyone, and I will do anything that I can to help with my reflexology and my massage, my hot stones, my happy ear, whatever. If you market like that, you're spreading yourself too thin. You need to specialise. And this is what a discussion was had in the hub this morning about somebody had put out a recommendation for a pregnancy massage. And somebody had gone on there and said that they could do it, even though we all learn about massage. But now there's speciality courses and training in pregnancy massage, which you would more than likely identify with that. So that's a speciality. And that's the way we should be working now, is towards our ideal client, whether we're working for relaxation, whether we're working for stress, whether we're working for just women, whether we're working for pregnancy. We've got to bring it right down and specialise. Other people will find us. But if we specialise more, then we're speaking a certain language to our ideal client, because they will see it. Thank you, Kay. Lovely for you to say. Thank you very much. So really keep it down to specialising, because that means so much more to our clients, because they will value us, because they know that we will care for them. We know them instantly what they want, what they need with their therapy, with their session. Okay, so like they're the main points I wanted to cover. Don't beat yourself up if you're doing some of those, because the only way you'll learn is by making mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. Thank you, Ian Dickinson, for that one. That was a brilliant tip. I learned at some training. Brilliant quote. I learned at some training the other week. You don't learn unless you're making mistakes. Don't worry about mistakes. That's how you move forward. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a glass of wine on a Friday night, wherever, at the end of the evening. You've trained, you've launched, you've set up, and you've got going, which is immense. Now I'm going to put up, you won't be able to see this properly, but I'm going to put the link to this for you to be able to sign up to get this. This is my free chakra startup checklist. So you'd be able to look at that and check that you've got everything in place and that you're doing it, that we've bits that we've covered today, but also to make sure that you've got everything in place for what you're doing in your business. So it's my 7 chakra steps for therapy business success. It's that checklist to just the overview to make sure it's all there. But well done for getting this far. Well done for getting through your training, and well done, for setting a business. There's not many people that can do it. There's not many people take that brave, monumental step, and it is a big leap into the unknown. So well done with that. Pat on the back, a big hug for you, and I look forward to seeing more success, and hope this helps with your therapy business. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.